What it do, what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second boss battle update as a part of the Pluto Capricorn series. Let's see. For those of you who would like a free PDF or an available PDF that you can download at your leisure, well, I would like for you to go to the description box below and join our Discord. Anyone can join the Discord. We have about 629 members. And once you accept the invitation, if you don't have a Discord account, all you have to do is accept it. And as you can see, we lit. Rose Marine will be pulling mini cards for the collective, so stay tuned. And all you have to do is go to the announcements tab and you will see this ebook here pinned. So please feel free to download this. You can once again access this from the Discord. All right. And with that being said, I would like to re-welcome you to this. Oh, yes. FREE. And shout out to those of you who've seen the upgrade offer. We gan lit. Okay. I just wanted to show you that was legit. But yeah. All right. So we're going to break down this second boss battle update before I step into the webinar at 5:30. I pushed the webinar back to 30 minutes. So for those of you who purchased monthly webinar tickets, stay tuned. I'm going to jump in there and we're going to start. For those of you who are Infinity Club members, the access to that members only live is in the community tab. And if you have access to the Infinity Club tab in Discord, you can also access the PDF. Okay. Other than that, yeah, please join my Discord if you would like access to this free PDF. It'll give you insight into this Pluto Capricorn boss battle series. So we're going to break down this dynamic as well as break down more so or less the nature of how these boss battle series actually apply for you during this Libra season. Okay. That being said, thank you, Angelica. We love you too. All right. And would you look at that? Let's welcome Angelica to the $1 Billion Vibe Tribe. $1 Billion Vibe Tribe gets you daily oracle cards. All right. And other than that, whether you joined, left, renew, take your time. You're always welcome back. But let us get right into this presentation, or rather, and let's get right into this presentation. This is effectively going to cover the Pluto Capricorn boss battle series that we experienced, okay, starting 2008. Is there a tier where you're on that Discord chat? Yes. Great question. I'm going to make a special Discord video. Everyone, whether you are a member or not, has access to the general chat. If you are a member, I hear your thoughts. You are a member and you are a part of Discord. You must send me a personal message letting me know the tier you're in so that I can add you manually to the actual tier on Discord. Really good question. Okay. And I'll make a special video specifying that very soon. So, yeah, I'm going to go more in depth about this dynamic coming into the webinar. But what's important to illustrate is and this is very important, especially if you're Pluto Libra. This final boss battle is, I would say, the most significant and relevant for Pluto Scorpio and Sag, but most relevant for Pluto Libra, because Pluto Libras will be breaking through the Pluto Capricorn square for the first time ever, and they'll never have to go through the square. The next one that I have to go through a square is Pluto Scorpio or Pluto Aqua. Oh my goodness. Anyway, the reason why I have this constitution here is because the last time Pluto was in Capricorn, we had the constitution that was signed near the end of Pluto Capricorn, 1776, okay, representing this nature of how powerfully at the time new democracies were coming into play, ending monarchies at the time. Will these boss battles be tough? Great question. That depends 100% on how much work you do. You know, if we take this like a video game, if you kind of gloss through the levels and you don't really put in that grind work to gain experience, the boss battles are usually so difficult. You usually lose over and over, and you have to, like, play over and over until you win, unless you like grind the levels, or it's a type of game where you either win or don't. It really depends on you. If you put in that work, the boss battle could be easy as like a toothpick. So a really good question. It'll really depend individually. It's a collective boss battle, but everyone individually, it'll depend on how well they do individually. Really, really great question. So, yeah, this boss battle series started 2008 and ended, and is going to end next year, 2023. This, by the way, is really more so of an analogy and a concept I'm bringing in. There's a myriad of ways to look at this concept. If you wanted to base it off of Neptune or Uranus, you can do that too. I'm basing it off of Pluto just because of the nature of Pluto cycles, but you don't want to sleep on Uranian cycles too. That will give you more insight in how things kind of play out quicker, with shorter generations. But yeah, Pluto Capricorn, the last time we had this series was with Pluto Sagittarius. And that was, of course, 1995 to 2008. The next boss battle series we're going to have is Pluto Aquarius. And so that one's going to entail of the first, second, and third final boss battles in, of course, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius every year from 2023 to maybe about like 2040 or 2050 or whatever. So, what I want you to take this concept and take it to mean whatever you want. Take the information, deconstruct it, abstractify it, use it for whatever perspective you want to have, because it's not limited to this. Like when I say boss battle, this isn't the only way to look at this. This is maybe just like one way to look at it. So, take for it what you will with a grain of salt, or whatever you like to put, condiments you like to put on your food. All right, this information is soul food. But yeah, okay. Well, this is the appetizer. The webinar is going to be the soul food. But yeah, with that being said, yeah, they're looking for this crack because I'm out here peace dealing. I'm giving this exclusive crazy information. And shout out to the North Node and Aquas. The Pluto Aqua series is going to awaken your destiny. Okay. So this is very important because personally, Pluto Sagittarius and Pluto Aquarius have different themes. Like Pluto Sagittarius and Pluto Aquarius, they're not boss battles. Like once we step into Pluto Aqua, it's not a boss battle series, it's a revolution series. So after we beat this boss battle, we complete the game and we now move way into full on revolution. So the whole notion of how we may look at Pluto Aqua, we can do a whole boss battle thing, but brainstorm different ideas. Boss battle for Capricorn is very important because every time in recorded history we see this happen, it brings the end of one authoritative structure globally and brings in the institution of another. In light of the respective cycles that we've had, where we're seeing territory states merge into one conglomerate, we're ready since the dawn of civilization with the influence of technology to create a new world order that unites everything and everyone. Okay. Basically all those conspiracy theories you've heard about, consider all of them half true. This is where you come into what it actually looks like. So it's very important to understand that the purpose of Pluto Capricorn in this lifetime, because the purpose of Pluto Capricorn in the 1700s was to end the outdated oppression of monarchies and instill constitutional monarchies and democracies. This is where, after the creation of territories, the purpose of the last Pluto cycle was to, coming into Pluto Aquarius, that is of the collective, transform the nature of how people can actually share power. And we're coming out of the corruption of monarchies. Now, coming back around to this cycle, similarly enough, we're having to fight corruption again. But now we're coming out of corrupt oligarchies. Okay. And listen, Queen Elizabeth's death is not only significant, it's an omen. Like she represents, like there will never be another opportunity for what Queen Elizabeth represents to happen again. The new king that you see in England is representing the very last monarchy. Like there will not be any kings or queens after him. And that's not in a sense where it's like screw the monarchy. No. This is just met its natural end. Boom. He's going to be the last. And it's going to also reflect in certain countries with presidents. They may be the last representative democracies. We're going to see the end of all that. Because when these things were instilled, there was no technology. We didn't have World War I and II, which brought way of trilateral commissions and a United Nations to do some heinous shit. I mean, to connect countries all over the world, which is whether even if it's a necessary evil, these things, of course, are necessary in order to overcome the limitations. Okay. And yes, it's about getting back humanity. Every time Pluto comes back into Aquarius, we're having to break through the extremeness of, due to cycles, restoring this sense of humanity. And so amazed. Like, I can't wait for Pluto Aqua, because Pluto Aqua now brings in a transhumanistic agenda that once again challenges how to identify people. Last time that we did this, it was more racially focused, where slavery and transatlantic, union or transatlantic paths were brought through in terms of all races and majorly sex. Now we're coming into all these revolutions and bringing this through in a way to step into personal sovereignty. Okay. So even if, like, you see most of these government structures continue, the way that it continues will not be like the old way they did. This Pluto and Capricorn is definitively the end game. It's very important because when you see people talk about certain themes, Pluto Aqua is bringing in the new age. This is just a fact. Really good question. Okay. The thing is, and Pluto Aqua will help you be more public with this info. Pluto Cap was you developing and bringing it up, right? But if you think about people who are like, why would corporations want to kill their consumer base? Why would all these corporations and collective authorities want to deceive the people who they depend on so much? And that, in a sense, is seemingly a good argument until you realize it's just a straw man and nothing about it is sound. Under the notion that, these people depend on this, yeah, maybe when we were beginning the last Pluto cycle that set up these territories. Now that we've reached the end game, and over the course of centuries, decades, and centuries, these corporations, these government structures have gained all your money, they've gained all your information. They didn't just gain money, they have been systematically saving and gaining shit loads of money while suffering middle class and lower middle class and low class citizens take the full brunt of the debt in every country. They have all your money, they have all your information, they have all the strategies they need. They have literally saved this money, an elite few that runs all these organizations. So, endgame means they no longer need your money. They no longer need all the stuff that they, the beginning and mid game they spent doing, which was acquiring all of you, creating all of this structure and system. So the whole notion of them now ending an LLC and just destroying your own corporation, or basically killing off your customer base, you can do in an end game when they got everything from you. And it doesn't mean that everyone's just going to die at once, but just open up to possibilities that kind of can show you, because you're going to see through your own individual lens evidence of this possibly. Okay. And this is what makes this the end game. I don't necessarily want to sugarcoat this. The last time Pluto was in Aquarius, you had monarchies all around the world: Austria, France, Russia, America with the colonies. You had war, you had revolution, you had native indigenous people die because of pestilence, disease. You had people die because of war, mass extinction events. History doesn't lie, science doesn't lie either. We're coming back into this semi-anarchistic state so that we can now establish a new constitution, a new revolution. And so, given the collective deception, we are at the end game. This is the end of old world infrastructure. They are trying desperately to peddle digital currencies. And that's another thing. The last time Pluto was in Capricorn, we had paper currency. Now there's digital currencies that will be rolled out with cryptocurrency. Okay. We're going to see the collapse of the world economy. We're already seeing the setup for World War III and other such world wars: World War III, 4, 5, 6, and infinity, 7, 8, and infinity. Okay. And we have already kicked off March 21st, 2020, the dawn of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Okay. Pluto with pestilence, Mars with obviously war, Jupiter in its fallen cap with famine. Okay. And of course, Saturn with death, baby. So all the pieces are set. Like Pluto in Capricorn basically sets all the pieces. Last time Pluto was in Capricorn, Pluto Sagittarians and Pluto Scorpios, like you, who were in their early 20s and mid 30s, were a part of the American Revolution. They were a part of the Boston Tea Party, you know, not massacre, but those all the these young kids. So like the spirit of that is back. Like you may not even, these people during this period didn't know that what they were doing was going to put them in history books. Just remember that. They may not have looked at what they're doing as that historic. Then you have to really keep that in mind. So just know you're gonna be in history too. Hopefully you're not in history for the wrong reasons, supporting the wrong causes. Okay. What do I think about digital cash? Digital cash is the future. Digital cash is smart. Digital cash is inevitable. just like people may have had apprehension about paper cash, the key thing here is who is controlling the digital cash. There's nothing wrong with digital cash, but if the people controlling the digital cash are corrupt, then you don't want to have anything to do with digital cash. There's already evidence in China of a certain digital currency that expires. So this is the way they can control the food and control the cash and control the limit to how much people make. Digital cash, I think, is perfect if you have physical cash alternatives. But if you're just phasing everything digital cash, it's just very suspicious. Okay, that's all. But we'll see. I'm glad to know that there is going to be an alternative out of this. And now hear me out. Hear me out. This is going to be the most extreme and unconventional facet here. But for those of you who've been awakening, you know this. The whole purpose of all this distraction, like this is a multi-billion-dollar industry to distract you. I'm sorry. You're not a physical human being. You're a soul. And there is a multi-trillion-dollar industry to distract you from the fact that you are divine and you are multidimensional. There's so many scientists and experts in all these bullshit fields of science. Yeah, I fucking said it. So that they can create the system around you so that they can narrowly distract the nature of who you are, especially in entertainment. And so the real true notion of this revolution and endgame is to break you out the system once and for all. It's not something that could easily have been done the last Pluto cycle, where all of this had to be set in place in a certain way to where now we can break free from it. So the true revolution here is these people are about to set up a new world order. Everything's going to happen Saturn Pisces, Saturn Aries 2025. That's the deadline. That's when the new world order is, and they got you. They will have this control on lock. That period of darkness is a real thing. The revolution is, are you going to be subservient to this system that will control how you identify yourself, what you're allowed to say, and how you live? Because they're going to control the food, they're going to control the money. Or are you going to break through into your own uniqueness and superpowers? Many people collectively around the world are breaking through their ability to harness their own internal energy and power and break through and not be dependent on the system, but still interact with it. You're going to be a target. They're going to try and, you know, get in your way. But the revolution is to cultivate your own independence and sovereignty from the system and create a new society through it and connect with other people who are doing it. You're effectively, Pluto Capricorn has effectively been having you create your own road. So certain people, Pluto Capricorn, didn't make the road and they're fucked. I don't know what else to say. Others of you were guided and made the road. You traveled the narrow path less traveled, and you were challenged with creating a new road that didn't have the advanced technology that other roads paved, mainstream roads had, but you made that road. And Uranus and Taurus started to manifest evidence of your own unique power and synchronicities. Why is this important? Because now Pluto in Aquarius is going to now go to this road you created, and it's going to start to add technology. It's going to start to add neural pathways. It's going to be a highway in this bitch. And you built that. This is going to be your own world that you can create in order to exist independently of systems that wish to control the shit out of you. And that's the revolution. The revolution is how you spend your dollar. Are you literally forced to spend one kind of dollar? Have you created your own currency? Your true currency is your energy. You have the ability to manifest. You have the ability to harness energy to convert into anything. Okay, there's supernatural principles and properties of your own body you're discovering, and that's the revolution. It is how you exude your individual self against collective forces and authorities that wish to control how you be you. And what you can say is it's really simple, but it's also complex at the same time. Okay, so I want to really kind of put it that way. This revolution is going to be against the new generation, Pluto Libras to Pluto Libras, and even some Pluto Virgos and Leos to Pluto Pisces who break through with superpowers against the old world who has military might, okay, greed and money. okay, who aren't as psychically gifted, but they can pay some psychic people, right? Versus the youth who brings this new psychic powers. The youth has the advantage; they have stronger psychic powers, but their money isn't as long, so they can find some elders who can offer their military might. Like this sounds like a sci-fi movie. It's the hardest thing for me to say. It sounds like a sci-fi movie, and it sounds like fantasy. But the thing here is everything has been building under the scenes. The reason why you don't see this out here is it's been happening right under your nose. Pluto Capricorn is building this in your body. Neptune Pisces is having you see it in your environment. Once Neptune and Saturn go into Aries and Pluto goes into Aquarius, it's going to flip, and you're going to see this in your community. Like people are just going to break through with superpowers, and it's going to look like they just woke up. But no, this has been happening since 2008. It's just a drawn out long process because this is the entire collective, and that's just not going to happen in 2 weeks. It's not going to happen in 2 months. It's not even going to happen in 2 years. So we're here, and this is why this dynamic is just going to flip like that. Just like what happened 2020 just kind of happened despite certain things being planned. So I mean, this is amazing. Some of you already have supernatural abilities. For those of you with supernatural abilities, for those of you who are already awakening these powers, you're the leaders of the new world. Some of you have Saturn and Aries. Some of you have Pluto Sagittarius. Are creating the new world. And so that's the reason. There's a whole budding generation of people who are not going to know what to do, of people who spent their whole life living a lie, and they may need you to show them the way. That's what we're here for. So that's really the whole purpose of this. It's the end game is setting up Pluto Aqua. And so when we look into these boss battle series, okay, what we're gonna see is that the opposition in Cancer season breaks through the initial conflict of Aries season. The Aries season square since 2008 is like starting a new video game. And when you start the new video game, unless it's like Mario, you don't necessarily always fight the boss at first. You have to establish the conflict that the boss starts. That's the square. But the first boss battle is usually going to be the opposition. And we are, of course, referencing this initial confrontation between your individuality and the collective authority that seeks to undermine your individual power. That's what it's there for, to put it in check, hence the square to Libra of balance. But in the case where collective authority abuses its power, you must fight back in order to achieve the balance. You cannot allow corrupt authority figures to depower you. That's not right. It's actually wrong. You are complicit in what these people are doing when you let them do it. You can't really play victim. The victim is also the perpetrator in this sense. And so these Cancer season battles help you overcome mass gaslighting. We had the last Cancer season battle in July. And so this helped you gain extreme depth of individual power. Okay. As well as confronting the toxic patterns in your private life. All right. That really confront this. Of course, the second boss battle we will see with the closing square here. And this is every Libra season since 2008 where this was enacted. Of course, this is really more so about bringing your individuality to the social axis so that you can connect with the right people and break through a lot of this collective conflict. You're bringing the individuality. Cancer season helped you break through into the social. And the best way to think about this is elections. So what is this going to look like this year? Midterm elections, okay? Or just the whole notion of, right? You're seeing social groups have to connect together to break through in a competition. I can't make this up. And so we have the final boss battle. Boom, the final confrontation against collective authority structures that, of course, do not have integrity. Or if they do, aligning with that integrity. Okay. And this definitely goes a long way towards the completion arc of every year since 2008, confronting this extra peeled layer of the onion and enabling you to reach a higher level of success. So, what we're going to look at in this webinar is, of course, the final balance 2022, the breakthrough arc. Okay. And this breakthrough arc is going to very powerfully key you into an important notion of how we take everything since 2008 and break through once and for all the full crystallization of your superpowers. And when it comes to Libra, Libra represents your super self. Aries is Peter Parker. Libra is Spider-Man with the costume. So what you're bringing with you into Pluto and Aquarius is your ascended super self. The whole purpose of Pluto Capricorn with Uranus and Taurus was to break you through into physical function to harness states of your divine higher self. This is going to bring you into a whole superpower, supernatural society of the new age of the gods. This is why there's revolution as you step into godhood to break out of the false authority structures that govern over you. The whole purpose of awakening into this godhood awakens you out of the systematic structure that was built to nerf you so that it can drain your energy. Hiding behind political and corporate rhetoric to give you the semblance of balance that they're looking out for your interests. But as you awaken more to your sovereignty, you recognize the importance of what authority truly is. And coming into the last degrees of Pluto, people worldwide will awaken to the fact that the authorities that govern over them do not have the authority to govern over them. Like, what if you woke up tomorrow and you realized that every single government is actually guilty of war crimes for asserting their authority over you? Whether you chose to, on the surface, it may seem that that's not true because democracies, people are part of it. What if that's not true? Okay, like and what's gonna decide for people to decide that? Is it gonna be a fair way? Is it gonna be a paper? Like, this times we're headed into, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be the wildest times ever, the most extraordinary, the greatest war ever, nothing to be afraid of. Personal power that you're awakening will make this an adventure. So this second boss battle is going to, in its trine to Saturn, connect you with other superpowered individuals like yourself, or people who have awakened abilities like yourself, so that you can form the conscious communities that will serve as a life raft over the rainbow bridge out of the one world into the next. This is the 6-month arc through the 7 years of tribulation that, should you choose to accept, will have you break through into your super self and step into the beginning of the end of the world. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to this very special message. If you would like more in-depth insight into how this will play out for your sign and also your rising, click the description box below. You can feel free to join the webinar. If you are Infinity Club, the link is already in the community tab. And I will see you guys on the other side. You guys stay blessed as always. And until next time, peace.